Hi, my name's Gavin McClaferty. Been asked to answer some questions or give some thoughts on some questions. One of which is who defines quality, another is what is at stake. Is great art for everyone problematic? Um, I don't think great art for everyone is problematic. I think that what is problematic is defining what great art is, and within that, great art for me is a art is a vehicle for initiating discussions. Great art is art that can initiate discussions. If you produce art and it falls by the wayside or it doesn't create discussion, then it hasn't worked. Okay, these three questions are all tied up in together, and for me to understand those questions, I put them in some kind of historical perspective. I've just been reading about the Paris Commune, and there was a gang. People were about to go and trash Notre Dame, and the artists came out and they saved Notre Dame from being burnt to the ground. So, what happened in that moment where the artists became the holders of art, and the people wanted some free expression, but the artists wanted a museum. And I think there's always a conflict between those two things. And I think artists these days are very conscious of this, that they kind of sit on that some kind of schism around that discussion of making art and making art for museums, making and documenting yourself, and we're kind of forced into a position of having to quantify what we do in terms of our career, or quantify it in terms of how it will be seen and where it will be seen and who it will be seen by, and as opposed to merely being engaged in that straightforward production of art. So my feelings about art production is that art happens when you're making it. What happens at the end of that is artifact, and then the artifact is then in the hands of everyone else and is dealt with by everyone else in the way that suits their interests. So you can have curators and gallerists have a set of interests, as does the state, as does the church, as does community organisations. So the art, an artist trying to operate in that is presented with a set of problems: time, money, will, access to materials, and access to all of those other things. So you're producing art in a context of finite resources. If those resources weren't finite, then everybody would probably be artists. So we're already engaged in an economy of finite resources, and so enabling access to that is just problematic from the word go. It's interesting who defines quality, because it's amazingly vague. It's as in, like, who is the who in that situation. Artists sometimes think about an audience of one, like you go to a gallery and it's I and plus I, and in that situation, I don't think quality necessarily is it. I mean, I'll go back to the earlier point. This quality centres around the ability to provoke thought and provoke discussion. The reason why thought and discussion is the important element is because, as Boris Groys has been arguing, the medium of language is a democratic medium. You can describe more, you can have access to more things. The language of finance is undemocratic. The reason it's undemocratic is because if you don't have any, you're excluded. Whereas words, you can participate in a conversation, you can participate in a dialogue, and you're free to enter into those dialogues. And so, for me, it's important that art retains a language side of it, or at least offers the opportunity for the work to be discussed and for the work to be elaborated on and shared on an intellectual level. And for me, making art, making objects, is about making objects that engage, so that they can be used as vehicles that then can elaborate on a point, invite conversation and invite participation. So in that way, my art becomes relational in so much as I'm actually asking for it to be deconstructed by a group of unhappy people, or presented as a stream of consciousness that then people can respond to. I'm never looking to close the loop. I'm never looking to present an end item that is sealed, that has this defined commodity label attached to it.